In this week's Data Radio Show, I sit down and catch up with Vaultspeed's Chief Marketing Officer, Jonas De Keuster, to learn about how he managed to go from being a Kimball modeler all the way through to the person who tries to make the most noise in a crowded train station. All that coming up now on the Data Radio Show. Hello there. Welcome to this week's episode of the Data Radio Show. Thanks very much for joining me. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like, that shares, subscribe buttons, tell everybody about us, because that's how algorithms work, really. So it'd be really cool to let other people know what's going on. In this week's episode, we're going to be catching up with Jonas De Keuster. Jonas is actually the Chief Marketing Officer for Vaultspeed. They're a data automation company based in Belgium. And it's a field where AI is really going to change the way that they work. It's going to speed things up, but it's also going to bring its own set of challenges. Jonas's career has actually set him up really uniquely for the position that he's got in marketing at the moment. He started off as a data engineer himself. And as he puts it, his job is to make the most noise in a busy train station to tell people about what it is that they're doing, but also to keep people informed as to what they actually need. Because there's a lot of people out there making noise that probably shouldn't. So yeah, let's learn a little bit more about Jonas, his path to where he is now, and his advice for people trying to get into the industry who might want to look at a career in data management somehow. Let's jump over there now. Jonas, thank you very much for joining me today. Very much appreciated. How are you holding up? It's been a little while since we've caught up.
Doing well, thank you. Summertime here in Belgium, and also the sun finally found Belgium, because it's been quite a rainy year so far, but today's good. Some holidays planned next week or even at the end of this week. So doing well. Thank you.
Nice. Where are you going for the holiday?
South of France. It's manageable by car. Rented out a small house with some friends. Bring the kids. Should be good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're in the middle of winter here, and it's just been wet and cold and foggy. I'll swap you if you want it. If you feel like a trip to New Zealand in the winter.
I'm gonna wait for winter to come in Belgium, but first have my summer.
Fair, very fair. So for those people that haven't joined us before, you're with Vaultspeed, Chief Marketing Person. First question for you: how do you end up in a role like that? Because obviously, automation and data automation is a very sort of niche market. Marketing it itself must also be kind of niche. How do you end up in that role?
As many might suspect, or might suspect, I am actually not a marketeer. So I started as a data engineer, data modeler, consultant, and it was actually in that role that I also built a lot of Kimball modeling and BI dashboarding reports, all that stuff. But still more, let's say, in the old-fashioned way, building Kimball from the ground up, straight on top of the source or a 3NF system, having to deal with the incremental loads, slowly changing type 1, 2, it gives people headaches. There has been a point where I was thinking, is this what we're gonna do? Isn't there like an easier way to do this? So the career path brought me with people who were actually trying to do some nifty stuff with automation. Automation frameworks, basically roll in a basket of scripts or a folder on a PC with some scripts that could automate part of the, let's say, manual or semi-manual development that people were often doing. And it's due to that experience and also the experience in helping to improve and leverage those automation templates more and better in the projects that I was doing with them, that I eventually rolled into the role of when we started with Vaultspeed of the product marketeer, trying to help other people understand and see the benefits of automation. So yeah, not the easiest, or I don't know, not the expected way I would say to roll like this, but it's it often proves me very useful that I have a lot of experience in this stuff myself. I can talk about it for hours. I can give some hints and tricks, and I can also relate to issues that some people are still having because I went through it myself, and that helps a lot in understanding the issues and the problems that people are having, relating to them, and then also explaining them how the world could look different if they start using data automation.
It sounds like you have the perfect model for a sort of an avatar for what your clients are and are in need of, because you've worked with them one-on-one. Like you know specifically from doing the work in the mines, as it were, as to how you can talk to them and what they actually need as well.
Yeah, it quickly relates. Sometimes you see people telling a story at an event, and uh, very a very interesting one was a person, I think, from the UK, and he was describing how they're doing star schema modeling, and I said, you're probably struggling with this or that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, but I mean, how could you? And you saw in his reaction and the way in which he responded that he wanted to know, like, what are you doing that I don't know about yet? Tell me. And that was a really interesting thing to see. So
It sounds like
helps
it.
helps a lot.
So what do you get out of this role? What sort of thing satisfies you the most with what you're doing?
I think the part of the storytelling and trying to explain people basically what we're doing, why it's relevant for them. And when that kind of comes across, when you see that the message is understood on the other side, and they get interested and want to see a demo or something, that's a great feeling, of course, because you have the idea that you really helped them and that you were able to explain the message in a way that just worked. And it's not always easy to try and explain a whole paradigm shift in how we do data transformations and how we build our data platforms. There's a very noisy market there. A lot of people are shouting a lot of things. And I know a guy who once told me in the early days of the data industry, and he had a lot of experience. So he used to say that they were yelling in the desert. So they were yelling, but not a lot of people were hearing what they were saying. Today, you're actually yelling in a very crowded train station. So you often get the same results. Not a lot of people actually will hear what you're saying because there's so much noise. And as a product marketeer, when you have the feeling or you see that you broke through some of the noise and you were able to bring your message across, that's the best feeling. Absolutely.
How much of that noise is wrong? Sort of people getting the wrong end of the stick, or being given the wrong bit of information, or being sort of driven in the wrong way?
Yeah, like with everything in life. Maybe not always necessarily wrong, but maybe just the wrong solution in the wrong place. Let's say that's often a possibility. Sometimes people oversimplify things. So of course a lot of it's wrong, but also a lot of it is right. Just need to apply it on the right context. If you really want to have, for example, a data automation project with a high rate of integration and a high amount of different and disparate data sources, then what we're doing with Vaultspeed could definitely help. If you sometimes come across a case where the complexity of the data landscape is not that complicated, well, maybe then Vaultspeed is not the right choice. There needs to be a certain level of complexity and volume, not necessarily in the amount of data, but in the amount of different data models that you're trying to integrate. And I think if you first learn to understand the context and you can pinpoint like the profiles of people that you can definitely help, um, you can do things more targeted. And what is maybe too often the case is that people are just throwing dollars at it, trying to spread the message to whoever wants to read it and or hear or see it, and then yeah, that can confuse people because they are being targeted by solutions that aren't really the one they need. Also, I mean, in terms of noise, we all know the marketing terms and the categories. You can have like 6 different definitions of the same 2 or 3 words from different product vendors that eventually do a completely different thing, right? So yeah, difficult, I would say. I get yelling in the train station, trying to get the message across.
I like that as an analogy. It's a really good one. In terms of all that noise that's out there, it's obviously a growing industry, the data industry. There's a lot of work sort of popping up now around sort of the AI space and those kind of exciting challenges that brings. What sort of advice would you give to people who are looking at starting their career now?
Yeah, actually, I went to a music festival in Belgium 2 weeks ago, and I was chatting to a guy who was part of our little group that went there. I didn't know him that well, but I know he was active in the space of AI since 10 years, let's say. And what he told me is that in the early days of AI, the tools and the things that were available to them to build their AI products were too complex. You needed a certain skill level to be able to work with these things. He told me that today, because of Gen AI and all the LangChain and all the packages and applications that you can use from the vendors like Microsoft and Google and all the other ones out there, they're becoming more and more mainstream. So more people can develop with these things, develop chatbots and applications, so that the complexity of building those things has decreased, let's say. Now, he explained to me that that brings kind of a shift in the way they approach their projects, because he's seeing a shift towards data. In his projects, he's a lot more involved in preparing the right data sets for whatever they're building with AI. So in the 10 years that he's active, he shifted from pure AI application development to more the combination of that and data preparation. And that's an interesting trend to see. I think everyone in the data, but also in the AI industry, will explain you that data and AI go hand in hand. You need to have both on point if you really want to be successful with these challenges. And so I would try to do, if I would start today, I would try to do a combination of both. I would try to learn about data management and data processing, but also about AI application building, both of these things.
Do you think there are some sort of preconceptions that people have when it comes to working in the industry that just aren't the case anymore, or that have evolved with the advent of this new technology?
I'm not sure. I would say, maybe at some point the misconception that AI can fix anything, or I can. I mean, at some point, yes, it's gonna change the way we work, the way we do business with each other. And it might affect a certain range of jobs that become let's say, less relevant, or parts of it become less relevant, or you have to like reorganize a bit to yeah to make to add value, let's say, in that change. So it is going to change people's lives, but it's not going to make us humans redundant. Yeah, if that's the
I've
case,
always,
everyone could go on holiday maybe, but
yeah, I was going to say,
yeah,
I've always liked the idea of AI doing the menial tasks and us being allowed to sit there and create. But all you ever see on
yeah,
sort of mainstream media is
I
AI
think
artwork.
that's a bit the way I look at it. You can be more creative, um, more working on the stuff that has the creativity. Just like let's say you want to write a content piece and you have like the main blocks in your head. I want to talk about this. I investigated a bit in that, and just what you can do today is, and I often use it. If I need to write. Yeah, you can hear the accent. I wasn't a native English speaker, or wasn't born a native English speaker, and I'm still not. But that doesn't mean today that I can't write fluent English, and that's because of AI. You mean I mean the availability of the solutions with ChatGPT and all the writing tools that have been built around it. They allow me to tell a story and to interact with a chatbot, let's say, explain him what I want to explain, have it write that up in a few paragraphs, and then by interacting with what he's giving me, I can improve it until I think, yeah, this is great. This is what I wanted to explain. So in the end, that gives me a lot of productivity because I can produce those things faster. I don't lose that much time on checking the spelling, rereading it over and over again to ensure that there's no obvious mistakes in there. So that means that I can write more with higher quality. That's a huge improvement of my day-to-day work that I just get almost free with AI.
How do you think AI has impacted data engineering in general?
I think the data engineering and the data industry is still looking for the answer. There's a lot of talk and a lot of noise again about it. I think it's similar to what I just explained about writing. It can enhance and help us to build better data models, better data transformation patterns. But in a way, there's a very important thing with AI, and that is that it's not or never deterministic. So it's always a probability. And in data engineering, all data engineers will understand if you have one or two errors in a code set of 1,000 lines, the code will fail. You will get an error or whatever, and then maybe AI can also help you to solve the errors faster. But it could also make a modeling error, mistake that you only see later on when you start interacting with the data sets and stuff. So I think the place where AI can bring us the most value is in querying the data models. I think there will be a motion towards where we were all used to use dashboarding and API dashboards and build those things with the solutions that are available there. I think those will evolve more into or be a combination of something that you can see on a dashboard and maybe a chatbot or chatbox on the side where you could say, okay, I see that this KPI is indicated in red, and instead of drilling down on the dashboard, you could actually ask the question, why is it red? Can you help me understand where the issue is? For example, if you see that you have a negative, that you have a loss for a certain month, let's say, you could check, okay, from my entire company, which are the domains where I'm incurring these losses. and which lines of business are doing well, which ones are doing bad. So those things you could basically start asking through, asking those questions in English instead of having to drill down and click around and hope that someone built the dashboard in a way that allowed you to find the answer. So I think in the interrogation of everything we built in those data platforms, that there will be a huge breakthrough with AI in terms of making it easier for business users to find the answers they're looking for.
I'm guessing it's pretty much the same outcome then in terms of automation and what you sort of expect AI to do for the automation field.
For the automation field, and that's the track that we are following with Vaultspeed. What Vaultspeed basically is trying to do is we try to merge two things. You have the business understanding and the way businesses work. Customers are buying products, they visit stores, those kind of things. If you build that, if you have that model and you can then add on the metadata of all the data sources in which you talk about those same business concepts, then you have the two ingredients that Vaultspeed needs to deliver you a data platform solution that is highly integrated and on which you can build basically anything, whether you want to support a KPI dashboard or an AI chatbot, it doesn't matter. The things that we are trying to implement in Vaultspeed is based on those two ingredients. We will always give you a proposal like, hey, this is how we would solve this integration problem. Now with AI, we can make those proposals even better. We can use the learnings and the choices that customers make in those modeling decisions and use them to learn even more and to propose to when they want to solve another data integration problem to propose a better solution, so that they would basically only have to check it, manually verify, is this model looking well, check some details here and there, and then just accept it or correct it in case it's not exactly what they wanted. So the level of quality of those data integration proposals, let's say, that Vaultspeed is giving, we want to increase and improve those with AI.
Does it help with speed, or are you just finding it at the moment because you still have those stops and checks with humans?
Everything that can absolutely, everything that can reduce the manual effort of designing and making a modeling decision in those proposals will increase the speed in which you can deliver. At some point, if you look at it towards what the end goal could be, is that in a way you could do it that the modeling decisions and the actual deployment of those models are done entirely autonomous, so that the system itself sees that there is a change, or you explain that you want to onboard a new source system, a new data source with additional data that you want to include in your data platform for people to query on and to ask questions. Once you do that, the application itself would just autonomously do the integration, build the model, and deploy it, maybe with a few checks here and there from an actual human being. Similarly to, again, writing a blog page or an article, I always reread what it is writing. I would never put something online and say that I wrote it. If it's entirely written by AI, you always want to reread what it's throwing at you and verify that. And I think it's the same thing with the data model. I think there will always, maybe at some day that won't be necessary anymore. Let's see. But for now, I think it will always need to be a human in the loop, as they say, trying to see, okay, what is it throwing at me this time? Does this make sense? Can I improve it? Do I need to read prompts in order to do some part of it differently. But that's I think the way it can improve data modeling and data automation altogether.
Cool. That's all my questions. I got no more questions for you, other than where can people find out what Vaultspeed is up to these days?
Well, of course, we have a website. It's vaultspeed.com, and if you go to the resources section, you can find all the new content, events, webinars that we are doing, also together with partners like yourself, for example. And explore the content of Vaultspeed. We also host some. We host those twice a month, and then in alternating time zones, some hands-on demo sessions where you can actually try and work with Vaultspeed yourself. You get an account, and we guide you through an exercise. That's really helpful if you want to have a better, understanding both on a process level and a technical level of what Vaultspeed can actually deliver.
That sounds amazing. Getting people involved and getting them working on the website.
Subscribe. Paul, you can be in my next session.
I can try. Jonas, thank you very much for joining me. It is very much appreciated.
Thanks for having us. Good luck with the show.
Hey, I want to thank Jonas again for joining me and sitting down having a bit of a chat about his career path. It was incredibly enlightening, and I am still really jealous I don't get to go on holiday in the south of France. Instead, I'm stuck here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, where it's currently the first of 10 predicted days of really wet weather. Oh well, maybe next summer I'll get to the south of France. We'll see. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell people about this content, the podcast or the video version, whatever it is that you're watching this on. And don't forget to come and join us on our new school community. I'll make sure there's a link in the description below. It's a great place to meet other people who work within the data field, but also there's a whole bunch of classes and learning experiences that you can go through there, and there's a bit of a competition to see who can get the most points. That gets tracked as well. And I'm nowhere near the top, and that's kind of disappointing. But I'll work my way through it, and you can do the same by following the link in the description below to our school classroom for the Data Innovators Exchange. Look, until next time, have a fantastic week, and may the force be with you.